Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. I'm going to be making some pita breads, nice puffy, pillowy pita breads, like that. Gorgeous. Hello, I'm going to make some pita breads. I have failed many times to get them to really puff, and it's frustrating me. So I've been doing a bit of research. I think I know exactly what I've done wrong before. So if you're watching this, I've made some really nice pita breads. And yeah, I'm going to crack on with it now. Alright, so yeah, another bread recipe on Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons. Still using the dry yeast here, so make sure it's still alive in the tepid water. 10 minutes later, got some bubbles. We can crack on and make this bread. Strong white flour and some salt. Sift that together. Alright, so I'm going to give you some history here of pita breads. So, very old, and I'll describe what I'm doing as well. So, adding the yeasty water to the flour. Make sure you get all of it. And a little additional extra, some yoghurt. Most pita breads don't have that, but I thought that'd be a nice additional flavour. I saw that in a recipe. And some olive oil. Using my bench scraper from Bake with Jack, brilliant YouTube channel. He solves many of your baking worries. Although I don't think he's done anything on pita bread, so come on, Jack, do a pita bread recipe. So get that together to a shaggy dough. I'm going to turn it onto the work surface, and I'm going to knead it. So pita breads basically is a Greek word. Pitta means flat. So flatbreads go back, way back. I mean, so many thousands of years ago to the Stone Age. As soon, once people sort of grew seeds, then they basically started to make breads with it. But go back about 4,000 years. You got the earliest written records, the Babylonians of Mesopotamia. There you go, about 2000 BC. But I don't know when this version that has the pocket was first discovered or invented, and I've looked and I've done extensive research of about 10 minutes. I couldn't find it. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can see me kneading there, forcing it out, folding it back upon itself. What we're doing there is we're creating a network of gluten that's going to be that structure that allows the thing to prove and puff up and everything. So this is me trying not to use any flour at all, additional flour for kneading, because I don't want it to be overfloured. I want it to be a nice hydrated dough. So a little spritz of water. You'll find that it's a very useful technique. Anyway, so that's about 10 minutes in, a bit more maybe. It needs to be tacky. So this is one of the golden rules for pita bread. Tacky, not sticky. That is, I call that sticky. I don't think it's quite tacky yet. So we're going to, it doesn't matter how many times you do it, Uncle Matt, it's a bit sticky. So keep working it for just a moment longer, a couple of minutes. And I think that is a definition of tacky. I would say definitely tacky. So now we're going to prove this thing. So rather than me putting it in the bowl and covering it with a plate like I normally do, I just tip the bowl over the top, see if that works. 45 minutes or so later, proved bread. So now, yeah, you're going to need a bit of flour now. So I would say now is the time to use flour. And if by the way, you use a tiny bit of flour when you need it, it's okay. Just be aware, the more flour you put into it, it's not going to be as nice. Right, so bench scraper again. Thank you, Jack, for that. Yeah, get it loose again. I'm going to form it into a ball, but basically, I just like doing that. We're going to divide this in half and then into 12 reasonably even-sized pieces. And as we come to some of the golden rules, I will point them out to you. Okay, so being tacky, not sticky is one, because we want the moisture in there. So when we want this pillow to form under the heat of the oven or in a pan on the top, it's got to create some steam. So the moisture has to come from somewhere. That's why, obviously, reasonably hydrated dough, I should have said there. I don't know what I said. Anyway, here we go. I divided the half into halves and then those into three. So there we go. We've got 4 threes. That's 1, 2, yeah, that's 12. These will be medium size. If you want bigger ones, divide into 8. Okay, another rule. Very hot. Hottest your oven will go. And then also what you're going to cook it on. I've put my skillet in there, but I also think a nice sort of heavy metal-based baking tray, or even better, a pizza stone if you've got one of them. Now, what you see me doing there was just rubbing off some of the excess flour, so I want this dough to grip to it. This is the technique of forming it into balls. Not essential, you can do it any old how you want, but that looks nice. And I like it when it looks nice. So I'll show you that technique again. Squish it down and sort of work it in a circular motion. And then cup your hand more. And there you go. A nice ball. 2 at the same time. Ta-da! Very pleased with myself. And I'm going to give them a little rest again. Just to relax. Another sort of 15-20 minutes or so. And you can still see, yeah, still a bit tacky. Flour. You need flour for this. So roll it out. And now this is another one of the important rules for making a successful pitta, is the thickness. If you go too thick, they won't puff up, because the moisture inside won't turn into steam until it's too late, until it's already formed a crust. So it will just maybe just crack and the steam will escape. We want the steam to stay in it. That's another rule as well. Don't let it get any cracks. So rolling it to between 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch, sort of 3 to 5 millimeters, whatever. Okay, into the dish and close it. Now I wish I knew how to do this better. I do apologise. I wanted you to see it rising in my oven. I cleaned my oven and everything, but you can see my feet in the reflection. You can even see my shoes behind. It's terrible, but you can see it's coming up. This is in fast forward, but in a second I just stopped, because this is the moment, and I'm thinking, will it puff? Will it? Yes, it bloody well will. Get in there. There you go. Look at that beauty coming up. And I'm sorry that I wish I knew how to do that vision better, you know, that filming technique, but look at that go. So happy with that. It's the most successful pitta bread I've ever made. Flip it over, give it another minute or so on the other side, and you can see there it's still inflating again. Brilliant. Okay, so we can do them in the oven. We know that now, so if you're happy to do that, but I wanted the video to look good, so I'm going to do some on the stove top instead of in the oven. But look at that. So this is now another one of the important rules. Wrap it in a tea towel. Don't wrap it in cling film, because that won't let any moisture escape and you will end up with really soggy pittas. But if you don't cover them at all, they'll end up being too dry. And there you go, on the stove. There you go. It didn't puff as much, but it puffed successfully. You can see where it's got a few cracks in it. The steam escapes. So another good one. We've got a pocket there. And by the way, even if they don't form a pocket at all, you'll find that when you cut it in half and warm it later, you can sort of get a knife in between. You can still create your pocket. But it's nice when it works. So here's a couple that didn't work quite as well. So I thought, you know, Uncle Matt's Cookery Lessons, we like to show you when things don't go quite well. And I think I've got the heat a bit too high. You can see it's really on full blast there. So in the oven on high, I think on the stove about medium maybe. And what I should have done while I was doing that was press it down, because if it has got any gaps in there, by pressing it down you can close those gaps, and I'll show you in a minute what I mean, to help it rise up. So here we go. And this palette knife is a bit too big, but you can see how when I pressed it there, the air moved around, so you can encourage it to go, but it hasn't quite formed a pillow pocket that side. But let's turn it over, and let's just press that down. There we go. Hold it down that side, and there. See that inflation? That was by pressing it down, and the little gap that was there, a little crack that had formed, you held it closed, and the steam, instead of escaping it, stayed inside, and it puffed up like a pillow. And I'm very happy with my day's work. Put those to one side. These are for my daughter's birthday party. Happy birthday, sweetie, if you're watching this. But it'll be a short video if I didn't also do the next day. So that was chicken gyro, or euro. I spelt gyro, but there you go. You'll see that again in a minute. Here's cutting up a pitta into little pieces, making them nice and crispy. Oh, lovely. Now, what are crispy pittas like with a bit of hummus? Well, they're nice, obviously. Really crunchy and crackly. Oh, lovely. Beautiful. All right, let's get back to this kebab that we're going to make. This is the star of the show. This is what they're for. Look at that lovely pocket. I've just put that in a toaster to reheat, and the steam coming out and everything. Very happy. This is the chicken gyro. I'll put a link to that video. You'll love that one. Beautiful. chicken thighs marinated in yogurt and spices, or barbecued, fantastic, or just grilled. Here's some accoutrement, some ingredients to accompany this wonderful kebab that we're going to have. Normally you're having this, so you're in the kebab shop, it's about midnight, you're steaming drunk, you say, yeah, cool, put some salad in it, mate, yeah, lovely, I'll have a bit of salad, some onions, yeah, I'll have some onions, mate. And normally it's a doner for me, and they put loads and loads and loads of doner meat in there, but this is even better, and this is really healthy, by the way. Bit of sauerkraut. If any of you watched my sauerkraut video, it is still kept. This is months it's been in the fridge, and it's still doing all right. A bit of my homemade aioli as well, and some Frank's hot sauce, and back over to me for the tasting. All right, so pita bread come out lovely. Not every single one, so don't get disheartened if they don't all puff up, but look at that. And definitely I find in the oven you get more of a puff than you do on a skillet on the surface. So, you know, bear that in mind when you're having a go. So I thought most traditional filling. I've got some chicken gyro, or gyro as it's spelt. Some of my sauerkraut in there as well. Some of my aioli. So follow those links to watch those videos, how to make that. And yeah, let's have a go, shall we? So this should be about 1 o'clock in the morning, when you're slightly steaming drunk from the pub. It's actually 10:30 in the morning, but you know, so what? Never too early for a kebab. Of course, that's lovely. What's the pita like? Yeah, tastes like pita bread. But obviously the whole point of pita bread is what you put with it. So don't eat it on its own like that. Have it with some dips, fill it with some lovely chicken, and you're going to be very happy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this lesson. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments how you get on. I'll see you soon. Bye.